Welcome to our explainer. We're jumping straight in today because global trade just experienced an absolute seismic shift. You know that $800 de minimis era for the United States? Well, it's officially over for non-postal commercial shipments. So if you're a cross-border seller, an exporter, or a logistics manager, the old playbook has literally been thrown out the window. This fundamentally changes how we all need to operate from here on out. For years, the golden rule in e-commerce was, well, pretty simple. If your shipment's declared value was $800 or less, it basically sailed right through without any duties. It was a breeze. But that assumption, it is entirely gone now. Today, low value does not automatically mean duty-free. Commercial shipments are no longer getting a free pass just because they sit below that historic threshold. So, how exactly did we get to this new reality? Let's take a quick look at the timeline. The worldwide suspension of this duty-free treatment actually began rolling out on August 29, 2025. Then, fast forward to June 24, 2026, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, cemented this indefinite suspension right into their regulations for any shipments arriving outside the International Postal Network. Let's dive right into the 5 massive changes you must make, starting with change 1, choose the entry process, formal versus informal entry. You see, you can't just hand off a package and expect your courier to magically clear it under the radar anymore. CBP now mandates that you file a proper formal or informal entry. Now, the old de minimis threshold was $800, right? The general limit used for an informal entry process is actually $2,500. But a quick warning here. Don't just assume every low-value box gets that easier informal pass. Depending on your specific merchandise, you might still be forced into complex formal entry procedures. Which brings us to change 2, identify who is responsible. Establishing the importer of record. Think about it. When that shipment finally hits the border, someone has to step up. Someone has to actually provide the entry data, pay those applicable duties, and answer to CBP if questions arrive. That responsible party, the importer of record, could be the U.S. buyer, the seller, a customs broker, or an authorized carrier. Meaning you need to pull out your contracts and review your Incoterms right now. You absolutely must establish clearly who handles the compliance paperwork and who gets stuck paying for unexpected charges. Next up is change 3, improve product data. And spoiler alert, vague descriptions will be rejected. Gone are the days where you could just slap a basic label on a box and call it a day. Vague descriptions like sample, accessory, or gift, those will now get your commercial shipments flat out rejected. Sellers really have to dig deep and verify specific mandatory data fields. We're talking the exact harmonized tariff schedule classification, the true country of origin, the precise customs value, and highly detailed manufacturer information. And remember, if your products fall under partner agencies, like the FDA or the FCC, you're going to face even more rigorous admissibility checks. Moving right along to change 4, recalculate landed cost. Protect your margins. Your base selling price is no longer the only financial number that matters here. To find your true landed cost, the actual amount it takes to get that product to your customer's door, you have a brand new math equation to solve. You have to factor in the product price, plus customs duties, potential additional tariffs, processing fees, and carrier brokerage charges, the whole shebang. Because there is no universal tariff rate, the actual duty depends entirely on the specific product. If you aren't super careful, surprise processing fees will quickly turn a profitable, low-value item into a painful financial loss. And our final big shift, change 5, redesign the delivery promise. Different channels, different rules. Basically, you must confirm your exact shipping channel before you ever promise a delivery time to your customer. Why? Because international mail and private carriers do not use the same playbook anymore. Private express shipments are facing their own separate, really strict commercial regulatory processes. Meanwhile, international mail is still subject to specific CBP postal rules. This will soon include a brand new electronic informal mail entry test, known as Entry Type 13, scheduled to kick off on September 22, 2026. You simply cannot treat these two channels like they operate under one simplified set of rules. To wrap up our explainer today, that comforting old question of, hey, is the shipment below $800, that has completely vanished from the industry. It's been replaced by 4 strategic questions that you must ask yourself on every single order. How will it be entered? Who is ultimately responsible? What precise data is required? And what is the true landed cost? Answering these questions long before you ship is really the only way to build a reliable and profitable U.S. sales operation in this new era.
The grace period for cheap, easy shipping is officially over, and the regulatory net is tightening fast. The absolute critical question you have to answer now is, will your supply chain adapt, or will your profit margins be left stuck at the border? This is Xgate AI, your scale engine for global business, trade regulation, and market intelligence. Thanks so much for joining us.